Now, with reference to the new exhibition that has just opened at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City, Mandalas Mapping the Buddhist Art of Tibet, I just want to talk about two paintings that are quite important from the point of view of portraiture and because of its an important Indian teacher whose life story is primarily hagiography, but nonetheless an important archetype figure for many traditions in Tibet. When I say traditions, I don't mean schools. I mean many traditions of practice, such as Hevajra, Rakta Yamari, Chinnamasta, Vajrayogini, Red Jambala. But there's many teachings and traditions of practice that come down through the Mahasiddha Virupa, also known as Naljurgi Wangchuk Champo, or the great Yogeshvara, the great Lord of Yoga, as he is known by his epithet. Now, there's two paintings. One was previously shown at the Rubin Museum during the Holy Madness, the Mahasiddha show back in, I believe that was 2005 or 2006. And it's a large format painting. It has two figures, and then it has registers around, and then it has other deities as well as lineage teachers. Now that's a 15th century painting. It's believed by some to have been commissioned by Ngorchen Kunguzangpo. But now I want to go to this other painting. There's two paintings of Virupa in the exhibition. The other painting is Virupa is in the same posture, brown in color, looking up towards the sun with the left hand pointed with the index finger pointed at the sun in a halting gesture or a threatening gesture. The pointed finger, index finger, is not generally regarded as a mudra. It's regarded as a gesture because it's not actually described in the tantras as being a mudra, but rather just the standard societal threatening gesture with the one finger raised and pointed. So the first painting, the earlier painting, is 13th century and likely earlier than mid-13th century, and it is surrounded by 84 Mahasiddhas. Now, it could be 85, could be 86. I don't know. I haven't counted all of the figures recently, and I don't recall that I wrote it down either. But so we have these two paintings of Virupa, and both are very different because the earlier one of Virupa and the 84 Mahasiddhas, it's a one-off. It's painted as a single composition, and for many years, it was undecided as to who the 84 Mahasiddhas around the central Virupa were, because we have the two main systems of Abhayakara Gupta, also known as Abhayadatta, and then we have the Vajrasana, and then we have the system from Gyantse, and then we have systems from Ladakh. We have other systems, but an overlooked system that people didn't really consider was the Shalu monastery system, and that's what we find here with this Virupa. The figures, and as they descend from the top to the bottom through the painting, are mapped and map very closely with the Bhutan Tamche Khenpa Shalu system, which he wrote down, but the system must have been in existence before that for this painting to predate Bhutan. So therefore, it must be a Sakya Shalu 84 Mahasiddha system. So this is a one-off. And there's a slight narrative with the scene in the middle with Virupa pointing at the sun, and then he has an attendant female figure in front with a skull cup, likely full of some kind of alcoholic beverage, and then an attendant behind, is seated in a relaxed posture. This sort of is based on the narrative of being in a tavern in India and drinking alcohol until the sun goes down, yet he holds the sun in place so that he can continue drinking as long as he wishes. Now, the second painting, the 15th century painting, this is really from a painting set. It is not a single composition. It belongs to a larger set. We only know of 4 pieces. We have Vajradhara in the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Then we have another painting in MFA Boston. But we have 4 in total. And this is from a set that depicts the famous Lamdre lineage, or the Margapala lineage of the Sakya tradition. And each painting has 2 figures. Here we have Virupa with his student Kanha. And then surrounding, we have it's mostly almost half of the upper register, the top and the 2 sides, going down a little more than halfway, is part of a system of the 84 Mahasiddhas. I believe it's from the Vajrasana system. So this is different than the one than the 13th century Virupa and 84 Mahasiddhas. There's 2 different systems here representing Mahasiddhas. And then with the 2-figure composition, part of a set, then in the bottom register we have Hevajra and the 8 goddesses depicted. And so that's just added as extra. And just above the 2 central figures, we have a central Hevajra figure again, which is called the oral transmission tradition, as opposed to the Hevajra, that's small Hevajra lower down. Then we have 2 forms of Vajra Naratmya that are represented on either side, to the right and left. Anyway, it's very interesting just to contrast these 2 paintings and try and understand the meanings of them and what they're trying to convey, and then to understand that even within the Sakya school of Tibetan Buddhism, they passed on many different traditions of enumeration for the 84 Mahasiddhas. So we'll leave it there. It would be great if you can press like, you can subscribe, you can join Horror on Patreon, and you can also make a donation on the homepage of Himalayan Art Resources.